This is part 2 of a podcast dealing with the emergence of political parties in the United States. In the first podcast, we dealt with Alexander Hamilton's fiscal program and how this helped bring about division in the country and the emergence of competing organized political parties, the Federalists, led by Alexander Hamilton, and the Republicans, led by Thomas Jefferson. But it wasn't just domestic issues that divided America during this time period. It was also foreign affairs. And the French Revolution that started in 1789 is going to be something that helps deepen political divisions in the United States. At first, most Americans supported the French Revolution and viewed it as an extension or continuation of the American Revolution against the British monarchy. But in 1793, the French Revolution turned radical as the Reign of Terror began, and there were mass executions across the country, guillotining enemies of the revolution. When King Louis XVI was executed along with his wife Marie Antoinette, it made many Americans, especially elite, powerful Americans, fearful of the excesses of mob rule and the spread of democracy. War between Britain and France was another thing that divided Republicans and Federalists. Alexander Hamilton was a Federalist. The Federalists wanted closer ties to Britain and therefore favored Britain in their war against France. Thomas Jefferson and the Republicans supported the French Revolution and saw it as a victory for self-government despite its extremes. And they believed that the United States should take the side in this growing republic over the monarchy in Britain. Washington and Hamilton believed that the French Revolution was dangerous and invited anarchy and mob rule. In 1793, George Washington proclaimed that the United States would stay neutral in the war between Britain and France, despite the fact that the United States had entered into a permanent alliance with France during the American Revolution. The British were impressing American sailors on the high seas. Impressment is when you seize a sailor and force them into your navy. This meant that war between the United States and Britain was also something that could break out. In 1794, John Jay, who was the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, was sent to Britain to work on a treaty with Britain. Jay's treaty did avoid war with Britain. It recognized Britain's commercial and naval superiority and opened up trade between the two countries. It also virtually put an end to the French-American alliance that was made during the Revolution. Back home in the United States, armed frontier farmers attempted to stop the collection of Hamilton's whiskey tax. Like Shays' rebellion before them, the farmers invoked the words and slogans of liberty and the American Revolution. Washington dispatched troops to put down the rebellion. There was no resistance to the Federal Army. This led to growing fears on the part of the Federalists that democracy and mobocracy were going to lead to anarchy. So to recap, the Federalist Party supported the Washington administration. They supported Alexander Hamilton's economic plans. They wanted close ties to Britain. They were elitists who believed that government should be run by the wealthy. And they were fearful of anarchy and mob rule, like the Whiskey Rebellion and what was going on in France during the Reign of Terror. The Federalist Party gained its support from wealthy merchants, farmers, lawyers, political leaders, and they had solid support in the North. The Republican Party was led by Madison and Jefferson. They embraced democratic self-government. They were more open to participation by ordinary Americans. Jefferson did not agree with Washington's handling of the Whiskey Rebellion. They were fearful of a strong central government with close ties to business. And they believed in a country of small farmers, not urban manufacturing. The 1790s were a decade of intense partisanship in which members of the opposing party were viewed as illegitimate and enemies of American liberty.